Hey everybody, this is Philip from Stars and Stripes Financial Advisors. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm gonna do a multi-part series called Wealth Building TTPs for the unindoctrinated. That's techniques, tactics, and procedures. Everybody in the military is going to be familiar with this term. And essentially, what I want to do is I want to spell out these basic TTPs that are going to help you get from where you are now to being in a position where you have more financial security, independence, and autonomy. So, wanted to start with the most fundamental piece of financial advice, the most fundamental thing that you can have when you're building on your journey to being financially independent, to being financially secure. And that's what I like to call the basic load. So in the military, the basic load was the fuel, the food, and the ammo that you needed to get through till resupply came. You're going out on a mission. You need to be able to hump, some amount of food, fuel, and ammo to get to where you're going, to engage with the enemy, whatever the mission called for. Now, in your personal life, you also need a basic load. It's just a little bit different. The food and the fuel aspects are the same. You should still have food in the fridge. You should still have gas in your tank, or maybe a charged battery if you're driving a Tesla or something like that. But instead of ammo, now we're talking about dollars. So how many dollars do I need? How much money do I need to get through till resupply comes? So the first thing to think about is covering your insurance deductibles. So if you're talking about health insurance, that could be like $1,400. If you're that's like kind of the lower limit of high deductible health plans. If you're talking about your vehicle insurance, maybe that's $500 to $1,000. If you're talking about home insurance, another $1,000. So just right there, you're talking about like $2,900 to $3,400 that you should have on hand just to cover your deductibles in case of an emergency. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect to think about is the not the insurance deductibles that you need to cover, but insuring yourself against job loss, which is honestly a more cumbersome and heavier lift, if you will, because your number one asset for most people is going to be the income that you're receiving from your job. Your skills in the labor force earn you a wage, and that's where you generate most of your money for the vast majority of people. So when you're thinking about that, and trying to figure out, well, how much cash do I need? The first thing to do there is say, hey, what do I spend every month? And that right there is going to trip up a lot of people because most people don't have a budget. And I hate to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but you need a budget. Everybody needs to know what they're spending. Even if you don't create a budget that projects out into the future what you're going to be spending, you should at least be tracking what you're spending. Now, there's tons of software out there that lets you aggregate your accounts, see what you're spending so you can track from all these different accounts. And that's super helpful. So at least you know, okay, on any given month, I spend $2,000 or $3,000 and what I spend it on. And that can help inform you when you're saving up so you have a full basic load, or you have, as other people like to call it, an emergency fund. So uh, let's say, as an example, you spend $3,000 a month. Well, how many months do I need to cover? Well, Bureau of Labor Statistics has some data out there that indicates that, uh, on any given month, the vast majority of unemployed people will end up finding employment before they hit the 3 month mark. So it fluctuates between like 45 to 65% depending on the month. But that gives you a sense, hey, for a good chunk of the unemployed population, they'll get another job within 3 months. And then that number goes even higher and really covers the vast majority of people when you go out to 6 months. And so I think that this is where that common advice to have, 3 to 6 months of expenditures on hand in your checking account, easily available, comes from, is because that for the vast majority of people, you're going to be able to get yourself into another job within 3 to 6 months. So that's going to allow time for that resupply, that new job, or the insurance company to come in and cover whatever those expenditures are that you happen to have. So you have to personalize it a little bit, and just like your kit, just like your basic load that you would bring into combat, you need to figure out what your basic load is in your day-to-day life, so that should Murphy arrive, and if something bad can happen, it will happen. He's gonna he's gonna do something like he did to me, which is moved into a new house, found mold in the walls. That's happened to me and my wife twice in a row now. So just be prepared for these bad things to happen. Hope for the best, expect the worst. So I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that this was insightful. If you like my content, if you want to hear more, please follow and subscribe, share the videos with anybody that you think would be helpful. All this lets the algorithms know, hey, Phil's putting out content that's useful, and I want to see more of it. Um, if you'd like to hear more about something specific, I'd love to get questions from you or comments, saying, hey, Phil, talk about this or whatever. And I'll share, how I might think about going about solving that problem, or whatever my thoughts are on that topic. Absolutely love responding to people's comments. It's a ton of fun for me. I'm obviously a big finance geek. So until next time, I hope that you all take care, and just start thinking about what you need for your basic load. All right, fill out.